Incoming transmission.
Welcome back to the Captains Quadrant, where we bring you space and time in a rhyme to bring you the greatest of stories and journeys into things Star Trek. I am joined, of course, by a cat. That is my co-host this week. Not Jason Roy Gaston, but the amazing, the amazing kitty that is Battle Cat, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct? The mighty Battle Cat. She's taking the title.
That's right, the mighty Battle Cat. We do have another guest that's going to be joining us officially for every movie once he gets back in, and that is none other than VHS Jace. We'll have him in shortly, but he'll be here. Swear to God, he had some technical difficulties, as all of us did amazingly this for weird day, but there he is. Woo! I think he's also on emergency.
Did you have to switch on now? So I'm on the phone now too.
Oh wow!
Can you believe that?
Unbelievable! Everybody's internet screwing around. Maybe there was a solar flare that we didn't know about.
It's going to be low angle, Jace. I don't want low angle.
Oh wow! He's going to seem very mighty. He's going to seem like as tall as Jason Roy Gaston.
Well,
actually,
hold on. I got to.
No, it won't let me. I want to go vertical that way.
I can't do anything.
Just go with this now, and if my internet comes back, I might bail out and come back in. On the
I'll tell you what God needs with a starship.
Well, welcome. We are talking about Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. Well, let's hop into First Contact.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna go with our guest, Jace, VHS Jace, no internet Jace. Tell us.
Share your pain. Share your pain with me, and gain strength from the share.
Yes, share your pain of Star Trek V.
Yeah, and I went in with a lot of hope this time.
Yeah.
So I don't need that now. I actually went in a lot of hope at this time because my wife was actually excited to watch this. So I'm like, you know what? Let's be a bit of hopeful. I had my own baggage with this. It'll be great. It was not great at all. It was horrible. It was worse. And I was watching it in 4K Ultra. And my God, it was just cleaner and high definition of worse.
Wow. High def trash. All right. Jason Gaston, let us hear your pain. Share your pain with us.
Share your pain. Share your pain with me, and gain strength from the share.
I love that.
Here's the thing with Star Trek V. The idea was interesting. I read Shatner's book, Star Trek Movie Memories, and he apparently got the idea from watching televangelists on TV. And interesting fact, he was actually going to call the bad guy Maresh, I believe. And then there was this guy named Koresh that did something bad, and he was like, nope, probably shouldn't do that. The idea is interesting. I just think that they decided, hey, funny stuff worked so well in Star Trek 4. Let's make it even funnier in Star Trek 5. And it went from being genuinely funny to being cringe funny. And I really think that 99% of this movie's problems is from it being cringe funny. And of course, bad budget.
Oh, they cut the budget on this one?
Oh, yeah. You may not have, you may have noticed a couple of effects were a little lacking.
What? No.
And then, look, that is the big problem here. How does a franchise that large, with 4 huge films under its belt, a TV series in production, deliver special effects that are worse than Battle Beyond the Stars.
You didn't like that whole that scene? The star was a great shot of the starship, but is it me or does it look like cut out and superimposed rather than?
That's the best. And if you notice, a lot of the ship passing shots are literally almost like two-dimensional images of those ships. The matte line work is horrible. The production value, the way it was lit was horrible. Everything looked cheap. The Klingon bridge looked cheap.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I was shocked. I was shocked at how, when I watched it again, like how poorly produced this film was. And I know it had a smaller budget, but hell.
Yeah.
It does have one really good shot of the Enterprise in it, though. And I will defend this shot until the day I die. The Enterprise up against the moon, I think, is a beautiful shot.
I will agree with that. And that's probably the entire budget really went to that.
It probably was, yes.
I really like that shot where you're seeing the Excelsior as an NX, and then you come across the new Enterprise A in the very beginning. That was really a cool shot, too.
That was from Star Trek 4.
It was. They used the same shot.
They reused the same shot. It was Star Trek 4.
Yeah. Oh man! Well,
that's not unusual for them, though, isn't it? Because they reuse shots all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That bird of prey explosion, I think I've seen in Star Trek 3, and then again in Star Trek. Was it Star Trek 3 or
Star Trek 6, Star Trek Generations, and Deep Space Nine's The Way of the Warrior? You are such a disappointment.
Thank you. I appreciate you having those deep cuts for me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're gonna say hello to Cosmic Mom really quick. Hi, Mom. Ooh. How you doing? And then my good buddy, my old barkeep, Jack. What's up, buddy? How have you been? Hopefully you're well. Joe Dove, you know damn well I took you to see that movie. Yes, I remember that. So I think if I'm not mistaken, this is the movie that we saw, and there was a tornado that hit Central Avenue, and our friend Renee met us. Yeah, we had a tornado that hit. The goofing on the weirdos. There was a tornado that hit the area which was kind of flat. It's Central Avenue, and it just walloped that whole area. And I remember when we felt like a shake in the building because it was one of those old cheap movie theaters. And then when we come out, it was like super weird.
Well, the movie wasn't that great, but those sound effects were amazing.
Is your internet back?
There we go. No, I'm just setting up the stand for my phone because I'm so professional on your live show that I have to set this up.
I love this. It's like Star Trek 3 quality, Star Trek 4 quality, Star Trek 5 quality.
There you go.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's great.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
There we go.
All right.
That'll do. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
All right. So let us hop into.
Still doesn't change the fact that this movie is garbage.
Garbage. Straight
garbage.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Let's get into the pros and cons, which is going to be all cons.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Yes, this is, if you are watching for the first time, the area in which the show gets into the goods and the bads, the pros and cons of the episode, movie, or current show that we are watching in Star Trek. And I'm going to go with Jason Roy Gaston, who's probably got a laundry list of cons and maybe one pro. I don't know. Let's see.
Okay, I live to just trash this movie, so I thought I'd do something different today, and I thought I'd talk about the things that I like.
Ooh.
So here we go. The things I like in no particular order. I like that we spend more time with the crew just being people. Even if the scenes are a little cringy, I like that we see Uhura and Scotty having a kind of simmering relationship. I like the scenes in Yosemite where Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are just bonding and camping together. I even liked that super cringy scene where Chekhov and Sulu got lost while they were hiking, and they try to punk the bridge, and you can't because you can't get nothing by Lieutenant Uhura. Right. But I really like those scenes. I enjoyed the mountain climbing scene. I thought it was really nice. There's a couple of lovely moments while they're sitting around the campfire. There's good character moments in this movie. In particular, in the observation lounge, I guess is what you would call it, when they have, first of all, they're meeting whenever Spock first sees Sybok on the screen, and he goes to the lounge to sulk, and Kirk and McCoy come in and talk to him. I thought that was a very lovely scene. And I really loved the scene where McCoy is forced to relive the day that he unplugged his father. I thought that was a very powerful scene. Lawrence Luckinbill, I thought, did a great job as
Sybok.
Sybok, thank you. I almost called him Savick, and then I was like, no, that's not right. And whenever I get the wrong name, whenever I get the wrong name in my head, I just can't help it. The Enterprise bridge looks great. I loved the shuttle bay set. I thought the shuttle bay set looked great. The crash scene, not so much, but this movie does attempt to at least give every crew member their time in the spotlight. As much as Shatner is vilified for trying to take the spotlight all to himself, I find it very interesting that the one movie he's primarily responsible for features the other cast members in solo scenes more than any other Star Trek movie does. Yeah. So there's something to say about that. As for the rest of the movie, it's hot garbage. It's just hot garbage. But you know what? Give them props for trying to do something topical, even though it was completely short-circuited by the out of left field cringy humor that they shoved into this movie because Star Trek 4 funny made money. Let's make more.
What are your cons?
That was my con. That was every con all smashed into one. Okay, here's one. Why's it got to be the Klingons again?
Yeah.
Why it got to be the Klingons? And they keep going after this. It's the Klingons in 6. It's the Klingons in Generations. After a while, I just get tired of the Klingons. I want to see something different. They had a Romulan in this movie, and I think it's the first Romulan we'd seen in any of the movies, if I remember right. Caitlin Docker. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if they had Romulans in this movie? But I guess they didn't have enough money to make a model of a Romulan starship. The Klingon crew were just, it was like Animal House to me. It was like a fraternity, and just the dumbest, most motivation-free group of aliens we've ever seen on Star Trek. I'm going to stop there just so I can leave some for you other guys, but this is not good. I'm also going to change cameras real quick, so I'm going to do a little floppity flop with the box.
Flippity floppity. Don't go anywhere. All right, while that's happening, I give the floor to our good buddy and maestro on the keys, VHS No Internet, Jace.
Well, if he talks about, let's get into some of this hot garbage, all right? Because it's not just hot, it is steaming, it is boiling point garbage at this point. And let's start with the Klingons for a fact. Not only, why did you change the bridge of the bird of prey all of a sudden? Because that's completely different from what I felt like we saw last time.
Right.
Again, what is with that? They chose, the kid looked like he was 18 playing that lead Klingon in that captain of that. Yeah. Jason was right. The motivation was there's no motivation for those Klingons except this tired concept of honor and glory, which had already been explored ad nauseum at this point. The only reason I could even tolerate seeing Klingons again in the next film is just because of the way they handle that situation. But in this film, they're not even really, I never find them threatening in the film either. Sybok, I will agree, he was great. In fact, my favorite thing about this film is the opening scene. Is that desert moment, that clip that we've been showing, actually is a really great start to a Star Trek film. It's very mysterious, it's profound. Who is this guy? He's got such a power. And then, everything else afterwards. As soon as the credits roll, and we get to Yosemite. I'm sorry, Jason. I know you said you like those scenes, but it's so polluted poorly with that row, row, row your boat music sequence. And, a girdle wearing, mid-50s Shatner climbing Yosemite.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on at this point. In fact, when you see the opening
Well, it was there.
It was wide shot of this guy climbing a rock. He's 4 sizes smaller than Shatner.
Yeah. That's well put.
As for the banter of the three, there's an attempt to really kind of play off that legacy of those 3 characters. But the humor was bad. The writing was bad. I'll even say that scene that you love, Jason, around, and I do agree, it's a powerful moment when McCoy meets his father, is then polluted. It should have ended there. I think they should have gone in a different direction trying to expose the others, because I didn't feel the same way about the Spock moment at all. Not at all. Like, that was very, very kind of flat. It just felt so cheap. I think that's the most thing I was just frustrated at, is that how Paramount let that script go through without at least giving the man the budget he needed to try to pull off the vision, even though I think the vision was horrible. Quick shout out to Harv Bennett, who actually gets to play Admiral in this film, the producer of Star Trek.
Yeah.
He got to play. Yeah, he's the Admiral who gives the orders in the beginning. So that's a really nice moment for him, because he did 6 of them, I believe, before he handed off the mantle. Yeah, but the rest of it, I'm just bored. I'm just bored for the whole thing. And again, I love Uhura, right? And I like that Scotty and Uhura are maybe getting into it. Bit of boom chicka wah wah. I'm good on you, Scotty. Why the fan dance? Whatever happened to just destroying a pebble as a distraction? No,
look,
my
it's Elvis.
idea to distract everyone is I'm going to get naked and then do a dance.
Yeah, that was.
It's not
pointless.
funny. It's not charming. It's not even sexy. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's a good analogy for most of this film. Like,
this makes you feel uncomfortable. So this is Star Trek makes me feel uncomfortable. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Star Trek 5. I'm feeling uncomfortable. Just because everything plays off, and it's the conceit of the end. The ultimate insult is the end of this film, right? It's the whole idea that God's just a swindler. He's a big rock swindler.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on with this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, and the fact that the human version of God looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah. Way to go. Yeah.
Anyway,
total disappointment.
Anyway, that's just the beginning. I'll keep going. No, that's enough.
So my dissertation's for volume 2. For me, one of the best moments I have is actually remembering going on the magical 40 bus and to transferring to the 60 to go to Central Avenue and hanging out with Mom and meeting one of her best friends, Renee, and just having those moments of every year or every couple of years we'd go and we see a Star Trek film. And, this was one of those great moments where we're all bonding and having a good time, eating popcorn and laughing. The laughing ensued greatly. There were a lot of really quick quips and the banter between Spock, McCoy, and Kirk is a lot of fun. The good night, Spock. Good night, Doctor. Good night, Jim. Good night, Captain. Call me James. Good night, Jim. And I keep going to that. I thought that was cute. But then it just kind of like peters off. I think it would have been served better. And this is what do we call it, Jace? A missed opportunity. This would have been really. You're. There's no sound. Can't hear you, Jace.
I thought you were talking to that Jace.
No, that Jace.
Oh, okay. It's a missed opportunity.
There's no sound. You okay?
I like him better like this.
I can't believe.
Move your lips. Move your lips. Crikey! Did you see this movie? Good God! They crossed this barrier and there's like this Santa Claus looking guy. Looks sort of like me. And then Captain Boy is like, why do you need a starship? I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
The most messed up technical difficulties episode of the Captain's Quadrant in weeks, not even decades, weeks.
Could not be a more appropriate movie.
Yeah. Total debacle. One of the cons for me, and the big missed opportunity was, again, you had mentioned that there he is. He's coming back. Hopefully his internet's back. Can you? Hello?
No, you couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
No,
What
we can't hear you.
were you saying?
All I could hear was Jason's insulting Australian impression. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. Enough's enough.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry.
what were you saying though?
I didn't mean it.
Move on. Let's go.
Yeah. So I thought the missed opportunity was, like you said, having a Romulan. I thought if the big bad was Cybok would have been half Romulan. That would have been really cool. And it would have been a much better movie because it would have been more intrigue. We would have got more a closer look into the Romulan Empire, what they were doing on at that time, maybe some new ships. This could have been the introduction, because I believe this is when Next Generation came out, if I'm not mistaken, or had been running. So we could have gotten an introduction to the current Romulans as the motion picture gave us the current Klingons. So that would have been really a cool opportunity to really bring something new and imaginative to it. But they went with a trickster alien that was out in the middle of some planet in the middle of nowhere going, "Hey guys, come and give me a starship. I want to go somewhere else. They abandoned me on this planet.
I do cocaine.
I just think that would have one of the greatest missed opportunities. But this movie, regardless of how you feel about it, and most people hate it, except for Damon, our good buddy, who just joined the chat, and he says the fake snowstorm with Sulu and Chekhov was awesome, which we did mention. Indeed, that was a lot of fun. But the line, "What does God need with a starship?"
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
To get to the other side, obviously.
It's one of the only smart things he says in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But that line itself has been used in so much pop culture that I think that's one of the biggest highlights in this franchise, and especially this movie, is that one particular line. And the dressed down Captain Kirk, "Go climb a rock," was a lot of fun. But do you think he was wearing a wig at that point as well?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
you think?
Yes.
Yeah, saying.
Captain Wig.
I do like the fact that people wear tacky souvenir T-shirts in the future, though. That is just
That makes me feel good.
Yes, that's like my whole wardrobe.
Yeah, that and our fancy new Captain's Quadrant shirts, which we appreciate you, VHS Jace, for designing these beauties. You can get them at our store, which is down in the podcast notes. You can go click on that and get a really nice, cool Captain's Quadrant t-shirt. And if you like, you can get the one with the faces on it. There's Jace and myself smiling, going, "Please watch our show and share with your mama and your friends." Is there something on you, Jason?
I didn't design that. I don't think I designed that.
Yeah, you did.
What, with your two faces on there?
Yeah.
I must have been drunk. Sorry. And I don't drink, so that's a real shocking thing.
Oh no. And then I thought again, the cons, like the big missed opportunity, was what they did with Cybok. I thought the actor was fantastic, but there was an interesting thing building with the three different races coming together. And what the hell was going on with their hair? Like, I was very
it's very erect.
Yeah, it's like weird. I was like, why is her hair like that? I've never seen a Romulan hold hair like that ever again.
In her defense, the Romulans are usually wearing helmets.
Yeah, I feel like that's more accurate.
Seriously though, if those three hostages had been killed in the first 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even, do any of us care?
Well, I mean,
are they that integral as when we're watching it? We go, "Gee, I hope they're okay."
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
Well, without those three hostages, Spock wouldn't have been able to tattle on the Klingons.
That's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
We got rid of the young Klingon that way. So those were my pros and cons. I guess it's time for Fire at Will.
Fire at Will.
Yes. Star Trek V, though it was one of the ones that I remember seeing fondly with the family, it's not one of the ones that I think people look back on fondly. And of course, the whole God thing is quite a controversial topic. And the coolest things are actually the stuff that happened behind the scenes. Like Sean Connery was offered the part of Shakari, which is why they called him Shakari, because it's a play on Sean Connery and those fun things, or they offered him Cybok or something like that. And
I'm
he turned
so glad he said no. I am so glad he said no. You know why? Because what they do to that character by the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was a pointless character. It was just like,
really, because in the first half of Cybok, I thought he's an interesting character. He's got a bit of delusion about him, but he's very powerful and all that. And by the end, he's this sniveling little kind of, oh no, you know, what have I done? What have I like? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Sean Connery would have been interesting in that role. You know, could you imagine that? Just tell me, would you like to go meet God, Captain?
If they had
He's waits for us on the other side. But you know, Sean Connery, he was offered the role of Morpheus in The Matrix, and he didn't understand the script, so he said no. Maybe that's the same thing. Maybe, what the hell is an Enterprise? There's a man named Spock in this movie. I thought that was something you ate with. And apparently their doctor is made of bones. This is too hard. Someone read it for me.
Wait, was he really offered Morpheus in The Matrix?
Yes, he was. He was offered the role of Morpheus in The Matrix and turned it down because he did not understand the story.
Wow.
And Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
Gandalf, you want me to run around with a bunch of short people? I don't want to catch that. Don't you know shortness is contagious?
You shall not pass.
You shall not pass. I'll give you an open mouth slap to the face, you Balrog whore.
Penis, my
dear. But if they'd gotten Sean Connery, that film would have looked amazing because they would have amped up the budget. We wouldn't have had crappy effect shots. The production died. They'd get a person like a decent cinematographer. Would have been great.
Oh my gosh. I'm just seeing this scene about, you know, can you tell me my pain, Cybok? Can you tell me my pain? I don't know, but your mother's a whore. Fuck. It's me. It's Cybok.
So in 1987, 88, when they're developing this, Sean Connery is an Oscar winner. He is up here in his career. Someone seriously thought Star Trek was going to get him. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. Even if he wanted to do it, his agents would have stopped him from doing it.
I mean, if they read the script, they were probably like, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, even back then, as much as we love Star Trek, you know, even Paramount didn't 1,000% believe in it, did it? Because it always was lowering budgets and screwing it around.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't let him do it. So unfortunately, these days it'd be different because I think actors are far more open to doing things on a, you know, it's not just all about the status anymore.
You're right. I'm not going to do Star Trek 5. I'm going to do this movie called The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That'll be a high movie to retire on.
Oh, man. Was that his last movie?
That was his last movie, yes.
And you know what? That is a byproduct of him turning down all those other roles.
Yeah.
I remember watching the making of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I don't know why I was watching it. It was those days in DVD. And he said the reason he took it, he goes, I didn't understand it, but I know I turned down some really big franchises in the past.
Oh, wow.
So, and he chose the worst one he could do.
Sean Connery was not a smart man.
Not a nice man either.
No.
Yeah. I also think, didn't he also turn down the role of the caretaker at Skyfall as well?
I don't know anything about that.
I think I heard a rumor about that too.
Yeah.
See, that's dumb. That's
Super
dumb.
That would have been his last role. That would have been amazing because that's probably one of the best James Bond movies.
That would have totally fed the theory that James Bond is a title and not an actual person.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like James Bond retired. Like, oh, who the hell are you? What are you doing in my shot? Get out of my shot. Get out of my shot, you cat. Go on.
That's always bothered me because it's such the easiest fix for the Bond universe. It's just to say that. And then we don't have a problem with continuity.
Exactly.
When James Bond is injured, he just regenerates into a new actor.
I don't want to go.
I told you.
Works for that franchise really well.
It did. All right, so there.
But yeah, are we shocked that we even got Star Trek 6 after this? Let's be honest.
I am very.
I
shocked.
am very shocked. Yes,
and it's one of the better Star Trek films.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and the series ends on a high note with that movie because you got a very prolific actor in playing your main villain, which I thought was fantastic. And of course, we also got the return of a side note character from this film. He ends up becoming your Klingon Chancellor.
The great David Warner, yes.
David Warner.
Yeah, I didn't even care. I was just like, oh, it's David Warner again. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. It's got nothing to do in that movie. In 5, it's got nothing to really do. So
no, Star Trek 5
at least gets an opportunity to perform in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
but
an audition
this film came out in one of the greatest years. Well, it is known as the biggest blockbuster year of that era. It's 1989 this comes out, right?
Oh, bad.
You guys remember, you're old enough to remember the summer of 89, right?
I remember
Batman
the summer of 89.
Incredible.
Batman, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters 2. I'm sure there were many others that I can't remember.
2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, goes on and on and on.
Right. Yeah, all
and
those
in between all that, they slot this in there. So, in defense of it, it really was put in one of the really tough year to come out, didn't it?
Right.
Because was it a summer release or a November release?
It was a summer release because they were putting seatbelts on the chair this summer.
Oh.
I remember standing in line at an old movie theater and seeing that banner that said, "Do you wonder why they're putting seatbelts on chairs this summer?" And I just thought, cringe.
Even then you knew.
No, it looks... And it's funny because they were like, action, action, action. And you get there, it's like, show me your pain.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's so sad. Now you're my victim. Come here, Spock. Come here.
Another thing about this movie is Cyborg had this ability to show people stuff legit. And then no other Vulcan had ever done anything like that. They do the mind meld thing, but they don't show or play off people's emotions. I didn't know they had that ability. And that's something
that's a really interesting idea that they didn't. Again, another missed opportunity. I like that about Cyborg. That was he really enlightening them, or was he manipulating them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think he thought he was enlightening them. Maybe he was not sure. Maybe he didn't know he was manipulating them. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, Cyborg thought he was the good guy.
He did, and again, it's not the actor's fault. The actor's doing the absolute best that he can do, and I'm with everyone else. He did a phenomenal job playing Cyborg. But I just don't think the character was well defined. I think this is also a victim in the editing room, because the big room is about this film is they had to cut this several times to make a cohesive story out of it.
Ooh, I'd like to see some of that cut room floor. I mean, we had so many. Missed opportunities in this film that even Strange New World. Oh, look at that. Perfect timing, Damon. Strange New World has decided to go back and take a look at Cyborg again. So I wonder how they'll work Cyborg and then SNW, Strange New Worlds, which I think is.
This is the free-for-all part of the show, right?
Correct. Yeah, we can talk about.
Can you talk about what you told? Because I didn't know about the story until you enlightened me, and I just read it before we went up on air, before my internet went down, about another prequel.
Yes, we are getting a prequel to the Kelvin universe. We are getting a world of uniting federated planets in the Kelvin timeline before Kirk, Spock, and everybody get together, and the Romulans destroy the Kelvin ship. So this is going to be very weird to kind of scratch the surface on, because basically when you do a prequel to any Captain Kirk themed Star Trek, you're doing Enterprise, because that's what you get. You get Enterprise. Bring back Captain Archer and crew. So I'm not sure if they're going to actually get that. Maybe we'll get that speech that we never got. Oh, we lost Jason.
Oh, what happened there?
There we go.
I'm fine with revisiting Archer and Enterprise, to be honest. I'm fine with it. Let's do it.
I mean,
No, I say absolute opposite. I could not disagree more. Paramount, pull your finger out. Let's go forward. I'm sick of going backwards.
yeah.
We've got enough prequel material to live a lifetime. Drive this franchise forward.
Agreed.
However,
Yeah.
I am intrigued that Toby Haynes is going to be directing it
Yes,
because he gave us Andor.
Yes.
So this could potentially be great.
Potentially.
It could. We've just been fed so much in the last 20 years of prequels. It just, I come off that Bergman era of moving forward. And then we got past that, and he started going backwards. But since Enterprise onwards, we've had more in the past than we have had in the future. Agreed?
Yeah.
Hate on Discovery all you want. I love the turnaround when they went through 900 years in the future. Yes.
Yeah. Totally agree. And some of our folks do. We've got Gaines. I want to see the time between Disco and Picard.
Sir Gaines.
Yeah.
Gaines.
Oh
Yes,
That's not going backwards. That's at least forward from.
Yeah. Forward from Picard.
Yes. Speaking of going forward.
Yeah. Star Trek Legacy.
This right here.
Yep.
We want it. Give it to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it to us and no one has to be hurt.
Yeah.
Or, if you want to make a big screen movie.
Star Trek Legacy.
Star Trek Legacy. Give us a big screen
And
movie.
you could do it because Star Wars just announced that they're not only Dave Filoni's doing a spin-off from the Mandoverse movie, but they're directly now making a film version of The Mandalorian and Grogu. So they've had enough confidence in their franchise to go, the show's a hit. Let's put it on the big screen.
Wait, so we're going to get a standalone Mando?
A standalone Mando, yes.
No, you spin off from the end of Picard. You turn that into a giant series called a new movie called Star Trek Legacy, which you could then spin off to a series if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could.
It's all there. We want it.
Give it to us.
Yeah.
Terry Metalis just won an award. Give it to us.
Yeah, and so did Captain 7 to 9.
Jerry Ryan. Yes, very good.
Yeah. Heir to the Empire. What is that, Jace?
Heir to the Empire?
Yeah.
I think that's what they're doing with the Mando, Ahsoka, and Rebels season 8 now movies, is that they're going to do the Heir to the Empire, which is Thrawn.
Oh,
and
Thrawn.
they took elements of that trilogy series, and they always started bringing in elements in Ahsoka.
Yes,
too. We started to see those elements come in, the Chimera, Death Troopers, things like that. So absolutely, it's derived from that.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Star Trek do that? I feel like I'm really digging on Star Trek. Has some amazing novels, amazing literature. I'm shocked they're not actually delving into that a bit more, because there's 50 years of literature there they could mine.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so weird that they would go backwards but not only are they going backwards, but they're going backwards in the Kelvin universe. So isn't it technically you have a point where everything is continually the same, except there's one rift in time?
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah.
You're right. How does that work?
Okay, so in the Kelvin timeline, this has never been explained on screen, but the producers have explained it. In the Kelvin timeline, when the Kelvin was destroyed, you don't just cut the timeline and it goes off in another direction. They said it's more like throwing a pebble into a pond, and ripples propagate not only into the future, but into the past as well. So it not only created an alternate future, it also created an alternate past for that timeline.
So is that why we never see Andorians in Kelvin?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Maybe. That's a great idea, but you know what job they need to do? Express that to the audience base.
Yeah, because I had no clue about that.
That's, we're not getting that on the screen.
Yeah, even in the literature, the comics that they had before Star Trek 209, where they had the crew of the Enterprise helping Ambassador Spock get the red matter and Captain Data. We talked about that in our very first episode together. Even when they had that, they never explained that there were other ripple effects from this. So
Surely it's in Paramount, people who are involved in Star Trek and really leading it. There must be a thought of the danger of splitting, to continue to split and have two separate universes in the Star Trek. I wonder what the theory is behind what they think the long game is going to be, because it's going to get messy at the end, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Are we going to have those who only support the original timeline versus the Kelvin timeline? Is that we're going to have factions fighting each other?
Like we did whenever it was TOS versus TNG? No, that'll never happen.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Because everyone's got the internet and social media. So it's going to get really
so it's going to be even worse. There could be riots in the streets.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
And the slash fiction is going to be crazy.
Give us a Star Trek Generations movie that becomes Star Trek Legacy. That makes sense. I totally agree.
It would be great to see a handover, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A little passing of the torch.
I agree. That's what's missing. That's what should happen. All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Hey, do you guys have any Star Trek 5 tapes left?
Where is the Star Trek 5 video?
You got Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier?
Please. Any Star Trek 5s?
Ooh, thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Fabulous.
Yes. Oh, thank goodness.
Would you happen to have Star Trek 5?
Yes, sir.
Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier. So tell your dealer you want to see it.
Tell your dealer?
Your dealer. Scotty was getting crack.
Sorry, I just went and got my copy.
Oh my! I love the way James Doohan shows up at the end. He's like, Star Trek 5 on VHS, now available in packs of 5. Makes great doorstops and tinder for your fireplace.
Jesus, that would be the worst.
If Scotty came back in time.
He got that call, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
He got that
okay, if Scotty comes back in time. If Scotty comes back in time and asks for Star Trek 5, he wouldn't ask for it on VHS.
No, I want the bloody Blu-ray and nothing else.
Give it to me. Just beam it directly into my head through my USB port, please.
Oh man! Shout out to Elon.
Don't look at my internet history while you're in there. Lots of fan dance videos.
Oh no! Only fan dancing. Maybe the ripples.
Be lonely at fandancing.com.
Oh geez, maybe the ripples in the past fix Star Trek Enterprise and bring the cast back together.
Yes, Trip is no longer dead.
Yes, Trip lives. That would be fun. I just think that they would probably just recast everybody like they did with the original Star Trek. Splinter.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Well, how old is Scott Bakula now?
Okay, he's not that old. Guys, the dog who played Porthos is still alive. No one needs to be recast.
Porthos is still alive?
Porthos is still with us.
Porthos 2, maybe?
Porthos is still with... Hold on, let me check. Let me make sure Porthos has not shut
some
its
dog, man, because they're showing off the air in 05, I think.
Safety check. Just checking on the dog.
Let me see.
Making sure the dog's okay.
Let's see. Breezy the Beagle.
Yeah, is he still around?
I'm checking. Hold on.
Getting real-time facts here at the Captains Quadrant.
If he's still alive, he may not want to be known. I heard he was on the Jeffrey Epstein list. So.
Oh dear.
No.
Okay. So there were several dogs that played Porthos, by the way. Breezy was still alive at last check, but that was also, 20 years ago. So
yeah, I was gonna say that is some dog if he's still.
Yeah,
well, Breezy replaced the first dog, Prada, in 2003.
Okay,
so that's a little bit more believable.
The show ended in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, and it is now 2024. So that would be a 20-year-old.
I think it's a safe bet, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I'm going to be. There's no way Paramount would invest a single dime into bringing that show.
I saw you. He did.
They're not going to bring it. They're going to touch it with 10-foot pole, are they?
I don't think so. I mean,
Just not.
I mean, the other thing is like apparently there's a possible buyout coming or a merger. So who knows what could happen? Like they could say a lot of things.
Again, when buyouts happen, mate, it's what's the reason for it? Money.
Yeah,
Bottom
money.
line.
Yeah.
I just unfortunately Enterprise unfairly, and I will say this, is not seen as being very profitable.
Right.
Compared to something like a Deep Space Nine, which is even not that profitable, but something like a Next Generation. So it sucks because I think the only hope we'd get Enterprise characters back is somehow introducing him into another show or part of a film or something like that.
Yeah.
See, Section 31, even though it's a movie, I'd always envision what a great way to do a time travel show.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
You
it just
know what I
popped in
mean?
and
What
out
a
of
great
different-
idea. And then you could have just had gone nuts within the Star Trek universe with a show like
Right.
that.
Hey Carl,
Yeah,
send
anytime,
us back to
any
the
place, any generation.
the mid 21st century. Okay, let me finish my newspaper. Now, Carl.
I am the guardian of the doorway to forever.
I would love an episode where they basically, it's just Brett Spiner playing all the different versions of the characters in just one episode. So they go to every different timeline and every different version and he plays.
Just have Brent like tired at the end of the series. Oh my god, I played everybody. I'm exhausted.
Every song possible. He
Every
plays.
song.
Only-
That's the name of the movie.
Only
Every
if
song
the
possible.
only if the bad guy is Jeffrey Combs playing Wayoon and Brunt
Yes.
and all of his characters.
And Sharan and everybody.
Yes.
And we could just call the
They've all
episode "So
teamed up
Very
together.
Tired."
They've all teamed up together. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing to have just a whole scene of just him in a room talking, all his characters talking to each other.
Oh my god, that would be epic.
Make it happen.
I'd like to see T'Pol come back in an older version.
I could see T'Pol showing up on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
I could
that's
see
fine.
that.
So how
Yeah.
far apart is Strange New Worlds to Enterprise?
It's like 100 years.
100
but
years. Jeez.
T'Pol was 60 at the time of Enterprise. 160 years old is not unheard of for a Vulcan.
Oh wow, so that's a good
Yeah.
possibility. That'd
It'd be
fun.
great to get back to.
Yeah, bring back an older T'Pol and Archer. Yeah, I think.
Okay, with Archer,
Archer's
is it
dead,
possible that
though.
he could be alive? It's too long.
Okay, according to Beta lore,
and Picard.
Which apparently was visible on screen during the Mirror Universe episode, but then they changed it for the high def version. Supposedly, Jonathan Archer died the day after attending the Enterprise's christening.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's canon or not. It was canon for a little while until they were like, "Oh, everybody's got an HD TV now. We got to change that."
Mm.
I don't know how I feel about that demise. There's something poetic about it, but there's something kind of insulting to the character by it as well, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of nice.
I mean, it's no more insulting than having your final episode be a
Not about you at all.
replicated yeah, a holodeck program. It was like, really? Oh my god! That's the only thing I would.
Again, like, let's defend that episode for one thing only. It was an attempt to do something very different in that universe. It was an unmitigated failure, but it was an attempt to try to do something different in the finale.
Yeah,
Because finales are the worst things to do. That's what all the writers say. Like anyone involved in TV shows goes, the finales are the single hardest thing to pull off.
right.
They tried something different and they missed.
Just like Star Trek 5.
Oh,
Just like, bring it around, just like Star Trek 5.
yeah. We go
Which,
back.
if I remember with the promotional, I felt here in Australia, we were being sold that this was the last film.
Yeah, Final Frontier. Yeah,
I
totally.
think every film
They
was
were
supposed to
pitching
be the
it
last
final
film.
time. The final.
Yeah. And it still didn't beef up the box office.
No, but I reckon it really negatively affected 6, though, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Box office wise, because people were very burnt, but people went and saw it, like myself, come out and going, that was really great.
Yeah.
So not only did William Shatner do a nasty job on this one, he affected the next movie as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you guys this question. Do you believe, and whoever wants to go for it first, go for it. Do you believe this was terrible compared to the rest of the films that had come out? And that's why it's so bad?
It's not
Or
my
is it
least
just bad?
favorite. It's not my least favorite Star Trek movie.
No.
It's not.
Is Insurrection your least favorite? Yes.
Yes.
Insurrection. Yeah.
Yes.
Insurrection's pretty awful. Jace?
It's borderline between this and Insurrection.
Wow.
I'm kind of those two. But Nemesis ain't that far behind there now. That could easily come jump up as well.
Oh wow.
You've
But there are
never
a couple of
seen
things in Nemesis I really like. So
But you've never seen so many attempts after Nemesis to retroactively fix what Nemesis did.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
They don't
very
do that with Star Trek 5. They just pretend like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Until
In fact,
until Strange New Worlds came along, was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put Cybok in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, at the end of the day, most of the Star Trek films still hold weight, even the older ones. I mean, we watch motion picture and everything else. They still kind of work in today's, even though they're dated. But this film in particular just has like soured. I think visually, story-wise, performance-wise. It started off as fresh milk in that first 2 minutes and ended up moldy cheese.
Moldy cheese. Not even sour milk, moldy cheese. It wouldn't be
it went way beyond that. It went way beyond that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'd like to share with everybody a little bit of fun news. Next week, we're going to be joined by 2 background actors at the same time. We're going to have a 4-way. Yes. We're going to have the I probably a really bad choice of words, but we're going to have the amazing Michael Chan from Star Trek Discovery, and we're going to have the amazing David Jones from Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Background actors. They're going to join us in the Captain's Quadrant.
I know those guys.
Yeah. We've interviewed both of them, and they are going to be joining us for that. And we have a result from a poll. We have the worst Star Trek movie discussion last episode when we did the Voyage Home. And we had a little bit of a quip about that, and the results are in. After a youthful look back at Star Trek 4, of course, the question is, which is the worst of the great Trek films? We want to hear from you and vote below. So we had 17 votes, and Star Trek Nemesis was edged out. It's 53-47 by Star Trek Insurrection. So
I think that is really just based on the fact that Insurrection, the only reason that becomes worse because it doesn't do anything for the franchise at all. Nobody really develops, nobody evolves, things aren't irrevocably changed. But in Nemesis, things change forever.
Yeah. No data dead. No data. Dead data.
For now. He gets
yeah, for a while. For 20 years.
Until they need him again.
Yeah. We'll dust off old Brent Spiner, bring him back. It'll be another soon. Jace, thank you so much for joining us this week. VHS Jace. Tell everybody.
Technical difficulties, but we got there.
Yeah, we got there. We made it. We're gonna get through all of those fun things and tell us the exciting news that you have for us about all of our Star Trek movie reviews.
Oh yeah, I've decided to insert myself back in them. So
you
can hear me rant and complain about these films every month when you guys do it. Jason, you're stuck with me.
Yeah.
You didn't tell Jace that yet, though, did you?
No, congratulations. We got good news. Jason,
right now, in his head, he's trying to come up with excuses why he can't appear on all the rest of them.
I've got a syphilis problem.
He's failed. No, look, seriously, it'd be a lot of fun because there's some really great films coming up to talk about. There really is. So
6 is
pumped to be able to get into it. So, how far does this go, though, guys? Does this go the way to, like, are we doing Star Trek Beyond?
We're going to go section 31, brother. We got you for the long haul.
Awesome.
Oh, man. As long as there's a Star Trek movie, we're bringing you in, baby. And if you haven't noticed this, the look and everything has gone back to amazing visual. And that is, again, thanks to you, Jace. Really appreciate it. So glad to have you here. And your friendship endures. So, woo. Yeah, that's right. And to my buddy and co-host.
Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Oh, geez. And to my buddy and co-host, Jason Roy Gaston. Hi, what's going on? You got some stuff going on in your wonderful world. Tell us all about Jason Roy Gaston channel.
Oh my goodness! Well, we are doing movie reviews. Of course, we're taking fond looks back at Masters of the Universe, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and of course the VHS Vault, where we look at the greatest movies of yesteryear. And of course, if you don't agree, you're wrong. In which we are looking at the latest and greatest in television series, plus. The movie reviews coming up. We have got this month. Oh dear, what is this? The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
How many more of those movies
Yes.
are there?
Who put that in there?
The best one.
Oh,
It's so great that none of the cast wanted in it.
oh man. And VHS Jace, you have another fun thing going on. You have another two fun things, but
Yes. Besides being a unpaid slave on the Jason Roy Gaston channel, I'm also an unpaid slave on the Pop Culture Spread news show each week, where it's really just covering the big stories in Hollywood, the ridiculousness of it, the drama of it all. I'm there talking about it every Saturday morning, Friday night US time.
amazing. And if you aren't sick of me, you can check me out on
Too
the
late.
Console Room podcast
Yeah, we're sick of
every
it.
Tuesday. Hey guys, let me finish. Every Tuesday at To Be Seen, back on our original channel there. We've been doing for quite some time. We're going to be talking about The Old Doctor, and I'm hoping the two Jasons will join us in the Console Room podcast to talk some classic Who coming up in the future. We're going to be doing the regeneration from 4 to 5 in that
Wow.
amazing space. Yes, we're looking at all the first appearances of the new Doctors into the regeneration room. So that's going to be fun. And if you didn't know, this podcast is brought to you by the good friends at Encapsulated International. Use the code Captains Quadrant on their website and order a Star Trek ship and receive some discount of a wonderful number. And of course, let's gotta throw it to our good buddies, the Scarif Podcast, pure, unadulterated nerd talk from the Red 5 Network. Oh, that's Scuttlebutt, where our friends there, are talking about the other Star podcast, the other Star franchise. That would be Star Wars. They're getting into all the
Star
prequels.
what?
Yeah, I know, right?
What's a Star War?
Yeah, they're getting into all.
Oh, it's only a franchise that the people who own it are actually trying to do something good with it.
Yeah, they actually like.
So
When
I'm
are they
very
going?
anti
When are they going to
I have a big
start?
problem with Paramount.
And that is going to wrap it up for us this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you have downloaded this, we really appreciated you doing so on the wonderful world of whatever streaming service you use to listen to audio podcast. We would love it if you could give us a nice rating, 5 if you wouldn't mind. We put a lot of love into this. We'd love to bring you some more love into Star Trek and Wondrous Worlds as such. And if you are watching on YouTube, we really appreciate your time here. Please be sure to give us a like and subscribe and ring the bell so you are notified of when we have our boy from Aussie every month to hang out with us. And every week, we are going to be talking about the amazing world of Star Trek. And for those of you that have been waiting this whole episode, without further ado, we now officially spin the wheel of agony for the next week's agony booth. Yes, look how wonderful this transition right into that. Isn't that cool?
I love this moment because this is something where I know I don't have to watch it. So this is great. Go.
All right, here we go. Get ready, Jay Damon. All right, here we go. This is it. The moment we've been waiting for. It is time to spin that wheel of agony. What movie are we going to get? We're spinning on. I'm throwing up probably. We are doing.
Oh, it's very red.
It's super red.
No.
It's dark red. And the children shall lead us from the original series.
Hey!
This is the one where the bad guy's wearing a muumuu, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't remember this one. So
Yeah, this is the muumuu bad guy.
the muumuu
Movie bad guy.
Bad guy in the
Ooh.
muumuu. Yes.
Oh wow.
Enjoy that, guys. Have fun with that.
All right. So that's going to wrap it up. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We will see you next week with 2 special guests. And Jace, we'll see you next month for Star Trek 6.
Hopefully, I'm a little less crabby next time when we see the next film.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's a good
I
film.
think I will be. A little less crabby.
All right, guys. So until then, live long and prosper, and we will see you next time.